to Randy in California, who sent 15 pizzas to the Capitol in Austin in the middle of the night. Glued to the TV screen, their computer screens from Wisconsin to Guatemala, to Senator Wendy Davis and Senator Leticia Vanderpute, but most of all, to the unruly mob. It is great to be here. It's the same damn thing over and over again, right? Well, I think we know it because for women in Texas, that about sums up our relationship with Greg Abbott and Greg Perry, right? Under Governor Perry, along with Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick, 76 women's health centers in this state were forced to close their doors or to stop providing family planning services, leaving women to drive hundreds of miles just to get basic health care in Texas. They ended the Texas Women's Health Program, shutting nearly 160,000 women off of birth control, cancer screenings, STD testing, and life-saving preventive care. And then, as if that weren't enough, last June, they tried to force through some of the harshest restrictions on abortion in the country through the state legislature in the middle of the night when they thought nobody was watching. But they had another thing coming, right? Women in Texas have learned by now that if we're not at the table, we're on the menu, and no more, right? Came out for women's health and rights, they thought that they were taking on folks who were worn out, beaten down, ready to give up, but instead, they got all of you, right? They got thousands of people from across the state of Texas who spoke out so loudly that our voices echoed and we shook the Capitol to its foundation. Students at Texas A&M who made the 100-mile drive to Austin 3 times before they got a chance to testify before the state Senate. They got Bo Guidry, a 9-year-old who not only watched every single hour of Wendy's marathon filibuster, he live tweeted the whole thing. And I'm sure some of you remember because we were all together, even on the night of the final vote when we knew that the bill was going to pass because, of course, they had rigged the rules, broken every rule in the book. We still marched past the governor's mansion at 1 a.m. carrying a banner, and on that banner was a message, we're in this for the long run. We're going to do any damn thing it takes, okay? Just ask Cecile Richards, who after testifying at the People's Filibuster, decided to go back to school and study law and political science so she could dedicate her career to rebuilding equal access to health care for women here in the home state of Texas. young activist who was so moved by what she saw that she got a job at Planned Parenthood at the health center to make sure that she could help make sure that women had a place to turn for health care no matter what in the state of Texas. Moved to New York City, except for the one bag that she left out so that she could go to Austin and speak out as a final stand in Texas. Okay, well, I guess some of you know the story because Sarah never made it to New York City, and today she's organizing Fort Bend County for Letitia Vanderputte. Whether they have been fighting on the front lines for decades, or whether they set foot in the Capitol for the very first time last summer, they all say the same thing. That night changed everything. Because for 13 hours, we actually saw in Texas the difference it makes to have people in office who will stand and fight with us and not just be a voice for the political establishment, right? Must a woman senator raise her hand or raise her voice to be recognized by her male colleagues? She was speaking for all of us because she was channeling the frustration of hundreds of thousands of ordinary Texans who've been shut out of the political process for too long. So the contrast this November is as clear as it was that night, and nowhere more so than in the race between Letitia Vanderputte and Dan Patrick, right? We don't have all night, or I can tell you all about Dan Patrick, but just suffice it to say, he's committed to completely ending safe and legal abortion for women in the state of Texas, and he said that closing every Planned Parenthood health center in the country is a great goal. Yeah, well, he also actually said, I mean, this is interesting, he said that women coming to Planned Parenthood for health care is a myth. Well, he needs to hear from the 280,000 women who come to Planned Parenthood every single year for health care. Letitia Vanderputte, her philosophy is simple. Just put Texas first, and that means, in her words, all of Texas, not just for folks who have it pretty good already. Now, the day my mother, Ann Richards, was sworn in as governor, she said, and actually I read it on her, I went to visit Mom today at the state cemetery, and what's written on her tombstone is this. Today, we have a vision of a Texas where opportunity knows no race, no gender, no color. A glimpse of the possibilities that can be when the doors of government swing open. Tomorrow, we have to build that Texas. This is the new Texas, and nobody's going to build it but us. This November, we're going to finish the job we started last